Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. This is the first video in my 2022 series on starting seeds indoors. Now it's only November, so the first video is really about telling you what you need to start seeds indoors. You can think about it, get the supplies, and follow me, because starting January 1st, 2022, I'm going to start growing all my plants indoors that normally go out into the garden. That will be perennial herbs, perennial flowers, tomatoes, peppers, all kinds of different vegetables. But this is the basic setup you need to get started. The 2022 series is also going to be for about a family of 4. So we're not going to, I'm not going to say you need this full rack here of 5 different shelf levels to start seeds indoors. You just need one level. I'll go over the materials in a second. You can save a lot of money by starting your seeds indoors because they're easily $3 a plant if you're buying your transplants at the big box stores or even at nurseries. So if you need 40, 50 plants, you're easily spending over $100, maybe $150. Seed starting may cost you that much to get set up, but I'm going to show you how you can do it much more cheaply than that. And then you can reuse these seed cells and flats year after year. You can also keep your seeds that you buy in a Ziploc bag or in a kind of Tupperware container, and these will actually last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Some seeds even last longer. So when you buy a seed pack, you're not going to need all 30, 40 seeds in there, but you can use them for many years. So you're going to save money that way. I really recommend starting your seeds indoors. This is my setup. You don't need 5 tiers. Just start with 1. Maybe get a rack like this if you have the space, so that as you kind of expand your garden, you have more shelving space to do more. But you just need 1 level. Some things that you're going to need will be a timer. Any kind of timer works. Your lights are going to need to be on for anywhere from 10 to 16 hours depending on where the seeds are in the stage of growth. And you don't want to have to come in and turn a switch on, turn a switch off. You're ultimately going to forget some days, and that can cause problems. You may also want a heating mat. That's a basic heating mat. They're about $15. If you're growing peppers, they tend to like 80 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer. So sometimes a heating mat works better for them. But you don't need a heating mat if you don't want it. Just about everything else is going to germinate just fine without a heating mat if your temperatures are somewhere between 65 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And peppers will ultimately end up sprouting, but they just may take 6-8 weeks to sprout rather than something a little bit quicker. That can be a long time. So if we're sticking with the idea for this series of just 1 level, you could have the flat of the bigger containers like I was talking about, and you really don't have to pot these up. You get them growing in here. As they get bigger, you raise the lights. You get some great transplants. You transition these outside. They stay in this the whole time, and you have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36 plants ready to go in your garden. $3 a plant, that's 90, 18, that's $108. You can reuse these, save yourself a lot of money. In here I would grow herbs, perennial flowers, lettuces. They can just stay in here, get popped right into the garden. And then with 2 lights, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these going across. But if you want, are on a budget, which I understand a lot of people are, you could just start with 2 flats, something like that. Something like that, and just a single light. See how you like seed starting, and as you, assuming that you like it, as you get more money and your budget grows, you can expand your seed starting station, really. All right, so this is video number 1. And again, I'm going to start the series really in January 2022. But the basics. Now, this is 5 tiers. I have 10 lights on here. You really don't need that. If you're just starting for the first time, you're going to need 2 4-foot lights, LEDs. It looks something like this. This one I actually dropped, so some of the lights went out. So this is an LED light, 4 feet long. Got this at Walmart actually, and I think this one was on sale for $15.99. You can find these lights. You're going to need 2 of them for anywhere from $15 to $25, maybe $30. They will last for years. So first thing you're going to do is if you go online, you're going to see all these different lights. Some of them are hundreds of dollars, $200, $500. They're yellow LED lights and red and blue and all kinds of stuff. You really don't need those for seed starting. If you want to grow a plant to full flowering, have it grow fruit so that you can harvest peppers off of it, you're going to need more complex lights. But this is just for starting seeds. growing transplants. I've been doing this for 20 years, and before LED lights became less expensive, I was using fluorescent lights, weaker lights than what you see here. There are two values that you have to pay attention to. The first one is lumens, L-U-M-E-N-S. That is the intensity of light. These are just white lights. You want 5,000 lumens or higher. The more lumens you have, the brighter it is, the better your seedlings will grow, the better your transplants will grow. So 5,000 lumens. And the other value is the Kelvin value. That is the color of light. So you want at minimum 4100 K, but you want to really try and get it to the maximum, which is 6500 Kelvin, K-E-L-V-I-N. So 6500 K, that mimics daylight, sunlight. So 5,000 lumens, 6500 K, you have the perfect grow light set up, and it's only going to cost you $15, $25, $30. You need two of them. I recommend getting a rack that is at least 4 feet wide, maybe, I think this is 24 to 28 inches, I guess wide, 4 feet long. And that's so that you can hold the seed starting flat. This is a seed starting flat. You can find all of this stuff at my seed shop if you want to check that out at therustedgarden.com. But you could use, the foil kind of turkey trays or baking trays. You can find them at the dollar store. You can use the standard 6-pack cell. That's what I recommend. This is what you see a lot of times in different stores. And that's enough to create 72 individual cells, so you can grow a lot of plants in there. However, when you grow in something this size, as your tomatoes or pepper plants get bigger, you have to pot up the plants. Now, you're going to need the flat, just like this, to hold the cells. You can get bigger cells like this, where it's going to take up more room in here, but maybe you don't need 72 plants. Maybe you just need 2 tomato plants, 2 pepper plant, 2 eggplant. You can grow them in this, and you're not going to really have to pot them up. Now, one of the questions I get is, when do I start? Like I said, it's November. Think about getting the supplies that you need. We really start growing in January. But say tomato plants want to be out in a garden here in Maryland around May 1st. You want them seed started 6 to 8 weeks indoors before they would go outside. So you count backwards 8 weeks from May 1st. That's when you would start them indoors. But again, if you subscribe and follow me through January, February, and March, I will tell you when to start all your plants. So you really can put 4 of these flats in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously. Fill them up with different trays. Fill them up with different cells. If you don't want to buy these, you can start saving yogurt containers. Make sure you poke holes in the bottom. You can cut water bottles in half. Make sure you cut holes in the bottom. And you can just sit them in here. When you seed start, you want the lights to be about 1 inch above the earth of your starting mix. And then as the plants get bigger, you can raise the lights. We'll talk about that too. But this is the setup that you need, just one level, and you can easily grow, I'm going to say 100 to 200 plants and get them into your garden for pennies a plant. That's how you save a lot of money. They all won't stay under here. As some get bigger, they can go outside and they can take the cold weather. So you're always starting, you're moving the plants out, and you're just using this little station, one level, to save yourself a lot of money. And you can have a lot of fun, because if you go to Home Depot, you go to Lowe's, you go to nurseries, sometimes the variety is very limited. So you can really reach every seed variety in the world, if you can find it at a seed company, and grow all kinds of different tomato plants. There's thousands of different tomato plants, pepper plants, all kinds of different varieties. All right, so that's the basic materials. A light, 2 lights actually, some sort of shelf, flats, cells, and then you need a starting mix. You can buy any starting mix. It will be called seed starting mix. It's a combination usually of peat moss, vermiculite. It's dry. You pre-moisten it, mix it up, put it into these cells, you put the seeds in. I'll show you how to do that. But it's a basic seed starting mix. You never want to take soil from outside, bring it inside. You will bring in diseases, you will bring in insects. They will start to hatch and go crazy because the temperature is perfect indoors. And they have no natural predators, so they're just going to take over your seed starts, and it's a mess. So you always want to buy a seed starting mix. So we've got these materials, the lights, the seed starting mix. Now's a great time to find seeds on sale. If you want to buy 2021 seeds, companies are getting ready for 2022 seeds, Those seeds are totally viable. You can get them at a discount, save yourself some money, and again, they're going to last forever. Well, not forever, but a good 5 years. So now you bought some seeds for $2 a pack. You're keeping them for 5 years. It's only turning out to be really, what is that? 5 into 2, 40 cents for that pack of seeds each year. And you can see how the cost really goes down. The other thing that I like to do is I used to sell tomato plants and pepper plants for $2 a plant. Actually, it was $1 a plant. I did this like 10 years ago, but now you could sell them for $2 a plant. You can grow extra plants, do a plant yard sale, $2 a plant, bring in some extra money, buy the things that you need for your garden. So that's the basic setup. You can get more elaborate. You can get the 5 tiers. You can get 10 lights, but you just need to find those 2 lights on sale, maybe 25 bucks. Those lights will last easily 5 years, maybe longer, so you can divide that cost out. But this is a lot of fun, and it's really something to do if you get the gardening blues. You can start in some places later December, January, February, and just start growing all these transplants. And I've been doing it, like I said, for 20 years. It's always been successful. It always saves me money, and there's not a lot you can do wrong. But subscribe, and I will show you every step of the process. And again, check out the video description. The playlist from last year is there. You can watch all the videos that you want to watch. Now, if you're really on a budget, you can get by with 1 light. That'll be about 25 bucks, but again, this will last for a long time. 2 flats, some starting cells, or you can get the foil baking whatever containers at the dollar store, some yogurt cups. That will be plenty to get started. And I'll say 25 bucks, maybe 10 bucks for the starting supplies, 10 bucks in seeds. So for under $50, you can really get started, and you're going to make that money back really, really quickly, because it really only costs pennies a plant when you're doing your own transplants. And again, I want to stress that it gets confusing. You see all these expensive fancy lights. You don't need to worry about something called par value. You don't need red lights or blue lights or yellow lights. Just this basic setup works for your seed starts. Seeds, basic setup, you're good to go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, because I will be going through all the steps of starting seeds indoors: watering, fertilizing, setting up the starting mix, dealing with problems, everything. And I will be going in Maryland Zone 7, so I will be going week to week telling you what plants are best to start when, so that you have a sense. And this is pretty good for any area that's close to Zone 7. If you're not aware of your gardening zone, just look up your state online and it'll give you an idea of what that gardening zone number is. And you just want to be close to 7, you can follow me. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. I also have a podcast that I'm doing with Callie Kim on the West Coast. We have 6 episodes done already. You can find that under Gardening Coast to Coast. It's Coast, number 2 Coast, Gardening Coast to Coast. You can go to gardeningcoast2coast.net, find everything you need there. Just check out Spotify or Apple. Thanks for watching, and again, please check out my seed shop.